Howdy, y'all. It's your favorite trainer with a belt buckle. Even in my pajamas, I still wear my belt buckle. We're going to give you a little glimpse of what today's class is like for programming for general population 3 times a week, full body, limited equipment. This is probably one of the most regressed entry programming calls. Take a look. We have classes every day, part of the online internship. If you show up all throughout the world, you will become successful. Make sure to check out the book, How to Become a Successful Personal Trainer. Enjoy.
Oh, okay. Hey Chris, question about the programming itself. So what I'm kind of getting a sense of is like, because I write my own workouts for the most part and they're pretty thorough. Um, my biggest challenge when it comes to programming is going to be like regressive things because not everybody can do the same thing. And I was trying to come up with my like with a program that's like for general public people, like like not necessarily like high intensity heavy lifting everyday gym goer, but like more like resistance band work type of stuff. And I'm trying to figure out like like I said, regressive things for certain people who might not be able to do stuff
Yeah, so
that's
you're
like,
looking
to
at,
me, it's pretty simple.
are you looking at like, say, 3 workouts a week, full body?
Yeah, I do total body, like, and that's kind of
Yeah.
my practice. So I typically I typically preach that to people as well because it's more
Just bands,
conducive for timing.
no weights.
Well, no, moderate weight, just like not like nothing too crazy, like
Okay.
because people like the people that like reach out to me for working out don't work out at all.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
it's
so
like,
then just take those patterns that we looked at in the beginning, those 8 patterns. Obviously, 4 are going to be more for the athletic population, which isn't your group. So we have a squat, we have a hinge, we have a push pull. We'll just throw in a unilateral one. So if you were to take a squat pattern, what's a regress squat exercise?
from just the regular squat itself.
Yeah. So remember, not I'm
Uh,
talking about like a barbell back squat would be more progress. How would we regress that? What would be an exercise we could do?
uh if you're thinking of taking the weight off, I was gonna say a box squat, but
That's
that still
fine.
has the
Yeah.
bar on the back.
No, you can go without the weight though. So you have a box squat. You can add a band on there if you wanted to put it behind them. If you wanted to do a goblet variation, those are all fine. You just keep it 12 to 15 total reps, strengthen ligaments and tendons, and progress from there. So that's our squat pattern. Then you go into an upper body one. So how would you regress a push up?
If I had to regress a push up, you can
Mm-hmm.
do the push up from like a novice beginner push up on your knees. I've helped people when they do push ups and they don't, and sometimes they want to challenge themselves to do like a regular push up, like my female clients. Like I'll just have a band and I'll assist them like with the band if they have a hard time getting back up.
So then I would agree. I would do a banded one, focus on the eccentric. If you want to have them do knee ones at home, that's on them. I prefer doing eccentric ones personally, but if you like the knee ones, that's fine. So you're there as the trainer. We're going to do 5 to 8 banded push-ups. So you're helping with the concentric. They're controlling it eccentrically. And then you add in, what's your favorite ab exercise, Marcus?
Right now, I'm gonna say cable rotations.
Okay. So if they don't have that, you can do a banded rotation. You
True.
would do a Pallof variation with them, and then you would
Mm-hmm.
just do this with progressive overload. So 15, 12, 10. So that's the squats. The push-ups would probably be closer to 5 to 8, depending on what they do. Band rotations, you go for time. Do that for 3 rounds. And then you go into, do you have a step or some type of variation that they can step up onto?
Yeah, I have a box.
So then you do step ups. You said you have dumbbells. So if you want to throw in a curl or press or something, you can do that. So step ups, you're going to 3 by, depending on their condition. So if they're really overweight to obese and deconditioned, I keep the reps low because you do both legs. So 6 to 8 per side and then switch. If they're in a little better shape, maybe you do 10 to 12. That's on you and the ability to determine what they're capable of. So we did a pull pattern, a push pattern here. So now we're going to do a pull pattern. And you have bands, so just do banded rows. You can put in any exercise in there, dumbbell row. You could do a renegade variation if they're more progressed. That's fine. So then give me your favorite girl booty exercise that they like to do.
I'm gonna say bridges.
Okay, so then let's give me another one that's isolation.
That's isolation. Was it the like a donkey kick?
There you go. So go with some donkey kicks. All right. And you do those for the same rep scheme, 3, 15, 12. 15, 12, 10. The reason I didn't do the bridge because that's our regressed hinge pattern. So you do a bridge here, which will be your hinge pattern and bridge. BRID. There we go. And then you can do a press if you want to. So if you have dumbbells, you do military press, some variation along those lines. And then you throw in some type of cardio. So what's your favorite cardio to do?
Stairmaster.
So if they have access to the Stairmaster, you can do 20 calories. You can do 30 seconds. You can do some EMOM variation. But now what we've done is we've taken all of those patterns that we just saw with the 4 and we regress them to their most basic form. You just do a body weight squat, you do a push-up regress with the bands, you do rotations for abs. That's just fun accessory stuff. So the B's are whatever you want to do, whatever your client wants to do. The 1 is the main emphasis, so it's lower body. And then the A will be an upper body pattern. So we have a push here, we have a pull here. If you have a client that's a little better in shape and they have access to a bar and you can do pull-ups, do pull-ups. You can help them up there. They come down for 3 or 4. That's the regressed version to get them to be able to do a pull-up. Bridge I love because it's body weight you can do on the ground. Military press, easy to implement. You could do it. All of these you could do with a band too. So you could put the band over their knees when you do a bridge. You can do step up variations with the band as well. Military press with the band as well. And then your Stairmaster will be, if you're outside, you can just do run back and forth. So then you have a full body workout that you can do 3 times a week. And then the nice thing about this is you just take whichever one you want and you move that up to the first exercise and then you begin to overload it. So as they get stronger, instead of maybe doing step ups, you can do reverse lunges. You don't want to do bridge, you do kettlebell RDLs. So the nice thing about recognizing the patterns is you can find the exercise that's most appropriate, really focus on the fine tuning of the competency, and then you can overload, and that's what's going to get them the ultimate results. Because as we were talking about earlier, it's about results, and you're not going to get results just by doing a bunch of cardio classes. You got to get the load in there to strengthen the tissue. So as the muscle adapts and gets stronger month to month, principle of overload, then they're going to start seeing significant changes in their body.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And the more that you practice yourself, I know Mark's going to chime in here in a second, but he's done a lot of great stuff. When he first started training, you get all these exercises that go through your mind and you start plugging them into the patterns. And so then you have really regressed step ups, regressed push-ups, push pulls. So then you take the patterns and then you have 15, 20, and then the more that you train, you're going to have 30, 50, 100 variations that you can incorporate in there.
Okay.
Mark, what was your question?
No, I'm good. I was gonna say that to Marcus too. And you know, I've been on here for a long time and Chris has helped me a lot with, you know, when I first started, especially Marcus, you asked a great question because I was so, look, we need, like, there should be a chart. I'm a chart guy. I'm a visual guy. So I remember saying to Chris, like, is there a chart that we can make? And he said, go watch my YouTube video. Right. So when I watched the YouTube video, I made my own chart of you know, a push, a pull, you know, a unilateral, and what are the regressions and progressions. So if you, I have to run, but if you put your email in the chat box, I made something and I put it in there based on his YouTube video. And honestly, it was awesome because the first couple of clients that I had, you get nervous. And I have a lot of clients that are an older population. And so I use a lot of bands. I'm doing a lot of that stuff. And you know what? After a while, it comes to you. There's still times where I even called Chris last week, said, look, I got a guy with 2 busted hips, 2 busted knees. Like, what do I do with that? You know, and you know, you constantly learn, but it's a great question, Marcus. And, you know, I think what Chris said was spot on is, you know, I have a menu now of all these things, and half of them are not on Instagram or not in the video. You do stupid shit and you're like, oh, look at that, it worked great. And, you know, they love it. I have an old guy that sits behind a chair and I put the bands behind his chair and he does these and these and he loves it. And you know, it's not anywhere in a book. So but it's good stuff, and I'm happy to send that to you tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, Chris, I talked too much on the call already, so I'll shut up.
No, you're good. Let's go. It's all valuable stuff because being able to recognize that it's good to hear other people talking about, because you get those natural anxieties of, we kind of get, paralysis by analysis or analysis by paralysis. And we don't, we start thinking that we need to come up with this crazy list, which is good just for your own security to be able to communicate that with your clients. But the more that you train and the more that experience that you get, as we were saying earlier, the results ultimately what your clients want. And we can't, as Compound Performance was saying earlier, we can't get lost in the minutia of perfection. And as long as we are progressing, that's what's really going to help you ultimately get you the results.